All right, so after a little adjustment, we're gonna place things back in. Now, be careful not to displace this tape, right? Because if you move it, it makes it a little more difficult to reestablish your vertical dimension. So nice and gentle, okay? Your fingers are gonna be very gentle. We're gonna push it back a little bit just to overcome that lingual undercut. And I can hear it almost squishing into position. Did you hear that, Robert? Very nice. Almost a little suction on the lower. And based on the fact that it's got a very low ridge, I say that's pretty good. So we're gonna get some light in here. Get you to relax your jaw. So whenever we're going through these movements, Robert, what I want you to keep in mind is to close down with your back portion of your mouth. Just like that. That's perfect. Okay? So Robert here, we're kind of fortunate because he's got a very nice centric relation. Relax your jaw for me and close with your back. Still a little bit early on the right side?
Yeah,
a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Get you to hold things together for me just like that. Bring your lips together nice and relaxed. Just like that. He's coming together now. The bite blocks are touching. They're not perfectly parallel just yet, but we're going to fix that in a second. And let's just see what his vertical dimension of occlusion is now. Still high. Now he's at the VDR position. So I want to reduce the lower bite block by another 2 millimeters, okay? So we're almost there, and it's quite typical to go through these motions about 2 or 3 or even 4 times sometimes, okay? Now before I remove it, sorry Robert, I'm just gonna place it back in. Now just like we have a little bit of a bite block showing on the top, I'm going to double check one more thing before we move any further. Now, because we have both bite blocks in there now, there might be a tendency for Robert to relax even more so. Get you to relax everything. Good. And I'm going to check his VDR again. So nice and relaxed. His lips are lightly put together. He's breathing in and out of his nose. Let's see how this is. So look at that now. His VDR changed a little bit. Okay, so let's try that again. Lick your lips for me and swallow. Good, because he has more of a sense of his mouth being more in a natural state, having both bite blocks in there. Nice and relaxed for me there. Very good. So he seems to be very repetitive. I'm going to check that for me again. Nice and relaxed. And once again, the new VDR position is about 3 to 4 millimeters more. So I'm going to make a good guess right here. And we'll place it back on here. Nice and relaxed. You stay nice and still. There we go. Now close all the way. And there's his VDO. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this to a VDO and have the lower line as my VDR position. And this could become part of the permanent record, and you can actually put this inside the patient's chart. So if you ever make another set for them in the future, you can use this as a reference again to reestablish VDR and VDO for the newer set, okay? So now that we've established VDR and VDO, and I have about 3.5 millimeters of freeway space, let's measure that. Let's see how much we have. Yep, about 3.5 millimeters of freeway space, which is very ideal. I'm going to remove the lower bite block because right now, as the bite blocks stand, yes, they're coming together, but they're not perfectly parallel with each other. And you mentioned earlier that your right side touches a little bit earlier than your left side, yes? A little bit?
No.
Not anymore? Okay, but just to make sure, what I'm going to do, get you to open. I'm going to heat up this top layer of the lower bite block, and we're going to place it back in the patient's mouth, and we're going to ask Robert to lightly bite into it, and it's going to leave a little imprint. The upper bite block is going to leave a little imprint and make the lower bite block perfectly parallel to the upper. Okay?